Hello friends, welcome to GK Sports India YouTube channel. And the Ashes is about less than 24 hours away. We have a popular cricketer, a World Cup winner from Australia, from Western Australia, where the first test of this Ashes series, England versus Australia, kicks off on Friday. I have a World Cup winner of 1987, former Australia batsman wicketkeeper Mike Veletta joining me in this special chat show, looking ahead to England versus Australia. If Australia can defend their Ashes, or if England will do what they did about 10 years ago in Australia. It's not easy winning an Ashes in Australia, but then to give more light into this Ashes series, I have Mike Veletta joining me right from Perth, where he is very busy with the match kicking off in his city of Perth. Mike, welcome to GK Sports India. It's my pleasure, it's my honor to have you on this show. Thank you very much, and nice to be talking to you again.
Thank you, GQ. It was so nice to see you in April last year in Mumbai. So it was a great thrill of mine. It's been so long since I've been to India. So after 30 years, I want to make sure it's not 30 years for our next journey back. It's far more regular. I'm looking forward to it. But yes, the Ashes is starting in Perth in 2 days' time. There's a lot of excitement around, obviously, Perth. There's something like 20,000 Englishmen coming around to watch the test. The city's abuzz. And cricket is obviously the flavour of the month at this time of the year. So we're all very excited about it and looking forward to it very much.
And as much as you're looking forward to it, most of us in India, cricket fans, cannot forget the days where we woke up to Richie Benaud, Ian Chappell, Bill Lawry and co, listening to Australian commentators, and that still keeps us waking us up early to watch the excitement of cricket in Australia. Mike,
Yes.
your initial thoughts on the upcoming Ashes? What is your how are you looking at the overall series? 5 tests starting in Perth.
Yeah, it's always hard, GQ. I think people say it's going to be 3-1, 4-1, whatever that number is. It's really difficult to determine. And fortunately for us in Perth, the hours is only 2.5 hours, I believe, to India. So you won't have to wake up as early as when it's in Sydney. So that's a great sort of foray into the relationship between Perth and India. We're all in the Indian Ocean, and we're looking forward to making sure we cement and make those sort of connections a lot stronger. So that is extremely important. Getting back to the Ashes, and if you look at the Indian series last year, the first test was almost like set the tone, although Australia did come back in the following tests. Australia, the team that's batted first in Perth has generally won the tests. Australia's won 4. India have won obviously the last one. So Australia, other than last year, Australia haven't lost here. There is a difference in this test. I think the competition between Australia and England in Australia is far closer this year. But there's some key factors that will have a great influence on it, clearly. England, interesting to note, their preparation has been interesting. It's been much debated. They haven't played, but they've all played a lot of cricket in their time. They're 2 fast bowlers, obviously, in Archer and Wood, haven't played a lot of tests in more recent times. So, as we know, playing 4 or 5 days is a tough gig for bowlers, particularly coming back at the end of day 1 or day 2. So it's not so much the first spell, it's that second and third spell that really takes its toll. And they will be key players in this Ashes series. So we're looking forward to an exciting last year. I'm sure a lot of Indians will. 17 wickets fell on day 1 of the Perth test. I don't anticipate 17 wickets falling, but I think it will be still a hard-fought contest day 1. The team that bat first, if they can rummage up 220 to 260, I think they're going to be well and truly in the game. What Australia probably didn't, I'm not sure they didn't counter, but Jasper Bumrah changed that game on day 1, as you'll remember. And then in the partnership with Yuzwal in day 3 was significant in terms of creating a really big lead. So there were some really key components of that test. I'm not sure if Bumrah is going to have an impact on this test, and I'm not sure if anyone can bowl of his standards. But with Cummins out, with Hazelwood out, 2 debutants coming in, Australia still look a little bit vulnerable.
Yeah, I was going to come to the absence of Josh Hazelwood and Pat Cummins. How crucial will their absence be felt? And have England already started on the front foot, or should I say, have Australia already started on the back foot going into this Ashes?
Yeah, I don't think Australia start anything on the back foot, GQ. I think you all know, and Indian followers would know that Australia will get on the front foot at all times whenever they can. I think the same will apply. With two debutants, and I don't know the side yet, but I'd imagine there's going to be two debutants. Both are of an age where they've played a lot of cricket in Australia, a lot of first-class cricket, are well groomed in terms of ready to play Test cricket. This will definitely be a different contest to what they've played in the past. But as Australians, we go back to Adam Voges, Mike Hussey, all debuted around about early 30s. So Jake Weatherall's going to have a chance if he's picked at the top of the order to show what he's learnt over a decade of first-class cricket. So I don't see Australia starting on the back foot at all, but I think England likewise play a really sort of aggressive form of cricket. So likewise, the contest is going to be tough. It's going to ebb and flow throughout the course of the tests and the series. And clearly, when the teams that win the crucial moments will win the series. So going back to the first test, day one is extremely important, particularly if the batting side does get off to a reasonable start, gets that sort of 250, 260. I think that will put them in a good position to win the test series.
You mentioned about the team starting well, batting first, will have an edge.
Yep.
You think toss will have a crucial factor in this, or you're one who doesn't believe in toss playing a factor in the result of the match?
Well, it's ironical. I spoke last night to a group of young cricketers, and I said the team that plays the best wins the game, and I still stand firm with that. But statistics do reflect that the team that bats first in Perth, obviously that's generally the team that wins the toss will bat, have won all tests. So there's probably some history in that. It's only a short history, and the other part of that history is that England have never played at Perth Stadium. The last time there was an Ashes, Australia, they played in other cities, and it was COVID, and England weren't permitted to come into Western Australia. And if they did, they had to spend 2 weeks quarantining. So this is their first adventure into the Perth Stadium. The wicket is no real difference to the WACA, but surrounds are significantly different, as we spoke about earlier.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you about the change from the WACA ground to the Perth Stadium. How significant is that in terms of overall cricket, international cricket, Test cricket, and with specific reference to the Ashes?
GK, the stadium is actually a stadium. It's like a coliseum, not unlike the MCG, whereas a WACA is a traditional cricket ground. Now, if we go back to the central wicket area, the soil is the same, the grass is the same. It's only 100 mil deep at the stadium because it's a drop-in pitch. But in many respects, if I look at the WACA wicket of today and the stadium wicket, I anticipate the stadium wicket's probably got a little more pace and a little more bounce, the way in which they've looked after it. The WACA hasn't, what I've seen of this year hasn't been as quick or as bouncy as I've seen in the past. So I think there's a lot of resemblance between the two wickets. As I say, they're prepared the same, they're made of the same materials. So that pit was very important. In fact, my previous role at the board was to ensure that pace and bounce was in the Optus Stadium or the Perth Stadium wicket more so as much as the WACA. The surrounds are so different. It is a stadium. It's a coliseum. You would argue that it's not necessarily a great cricket venue in that respect. It doesn't have the traditions of a cricket venue, but it does hold a capacity of 55 to 60,000. So, which is what's anticipated through the whole of the Ashes series, will be packed stadiums, much like the Indian series last year. So the WACA now only has a capacity, or will only have a capacity of between 10 and 15,000. So I seem to think that India and England may struggle to play another Test series at the WACA in the future. So they will be at Perth Stadium.
We touched upon the bowling aspect of it. No Hazelwood, no Pat Cummins. Coming to the batsman, and Usman Khwaja has had quite a few opening partners with him in recent times. He has not got a settled opening partner after David Warner. So how crucial will that be in Australia's defense of the Ashes?
Interesting, and you're right, and without looking at statistics of Khawaja and Warner, but obviously they were very different players and they complemented each other, both in terms of how they both played different games. Warner was good for Khawaja, and Khawaja was good for Warner. So Usman has had to obviously compete with or bat with other partners that have all been slightly different. And we all know as openers, you build a relationship over a long period of time, and it is difficult to rebuild that relationship. So he has had a range of partners. Interesting to note, they've gone for Weatherald, who's an attacking, aggressive opener, and that probably will complement Khawaja more so. So it can let him play his own natural game. But you're right, as an opening pair, and knowing the years that I opened with Jeff Marsh for many years for WA, and Australian openers have always been fairly settled, and it's been a significant part of their success. So there's no coincidence that Australia's performance has probably deteriorated with the lack of consistency around the opening pair. So Khawaja in his last series will definitely need to stand up and get a lot of runs. Regardless of how long it takes, he needs to spend a lot of time out in the middle.
Yeah, of course. You just mentioned about Jeff Marsh. We always remember the partnership Jeff Marsh and David Boone, Gordon Greenidge and Desmond Haynes, Justin Langer and Matthew Hayden. Some of the top successful opening partners that have stayed long and broken a lot of records. You mentioned about Usman Khawaja. There is also the Sam Constas, of whom we saw a bit in the last season. But is he too young, or has he been given too many chances that he has not capitalized on them? There is still talk of Sam Constas and how aggressive he can be. But what is Sam Constas to Australian cricket right now?
Oh, look! My view is clearly, and it's easy in hindsight to say he's picked too early. I still, maybe it's an old-fashioned view. You've got to prove that you can compete and conquer the program before you, or the competition before you, like first-class cricket before you play international cricket. I don't think Sam Constas had enough time to learn about his game and develop his game in first-class cricket. If you analyse last year, he scored some good runs. He scored it in a certain fashion, and maybe that's what the Australian selectors wanted to complement Usman at the time, an aggressive opener. I believe Sam's got to go back to first-class cricket now and really start to learn more about his game. And there's no doubt that he'll become a very good international cricketer in time, but he's got to learn more about his game before he does venture back in, before he's selected in the Australian side. There's a lot of good openers around Australian cricket. Obviously, that was a tough decision. Cam Bancroft, we're a bit biased over here in the West, clearly wasn't performing at the time that he needed to. But as I say, always the opening combination significantly set up the series and the test. And if you go back over a number of series and watching some of the productions like the test, where they showed in England when Crawley hit the first ball through the covers for 4, that set the tone. The previous Ashes, Stark got a wicket on the first ball. Go back to when Harbison bowled a wide to Langer. And that set the scene. So let's watch out for the first ball on Friday and see whether that does set the scene for the rest of the series.
Right. When do you see Pat Cummins take part in this Ashes? Will he at all?
Well, he was bowling. He's over here in Perth. So is Jai Richardson. I saw bowling in the nets at training at the stadium. So general consensus is that Pat may be available for the second test. So he will definitely be missed, no doubt. Not only as a bowler but as a leader. Smith's accustomed to leadership, so they may not lose too much in that respect. But obviously, Cummins back in that side with Hazlewood out. It does make our attack a lot less potent. And just to think about Stark, what a great athlete he is. I mean, he's had some great series against India over many years and in the IPL, but he's a great athlete that Australia are going to really rely heavily on in this Perth test.
Right. So looking at the opposition, England, they had almost an injury scare. Mark Wood having some hamstring concerns, but he's now cleared to play. How do you look at Australia against the England Pacers? You mentioned about Jofra Archer at the start, Mark Wood, and they have quite a few not so very experienced Ashes English players, but still those who have begun well to at least be there for long in international cricket. The likes of and Co.
Jico, I haven't seen enough of them play. Clearly, we'll see a lot of them through this summer. But if you go back in Ashes series, I believe this will be a closer series than many of the past in Australia. But if you go back to their great bowlers, back through Broad's days and their careers in Australia, their results haven't been great. Their statistics aren't great, so I don't think they're necessarily going to lose much in that respect. Clearly, England believe that Wood and Archer are going to be a significant difference. So keeping them fit, how they get them through the series is going to be a real challenge for them, whether they rotate them. I'd anticipate if they're both fit, they'll unleash them at Perth Stadium on a whacker wicket. So I expect that they want to take the ascendancy in that respect. Spin bowling is going to play a part, clearly, as the series evolves. Lyon's not getting any younger, but he's certainly a class bowler, as you all know. So he will play a role. I'm not sure what sort of role he'll play at the Perth Stadium first test, but he will get more bounce in that wicket, and that's what he does enjoy. So how England bowlers perform will clearly revolve around how they keep them on the park. Not to mention Ben Stokes, he will be a clear match winner with the ball. We've seen that in recent series. He's done that sort of job very well. So I doubt whether he bowls long spells, but his spells will be generally effective. So it is his first test, a test of probably two less experienced bowling attacks. But the good fortune we have, we know a lot more about our conditions than a lot of the English do. So that could be a challenge. But if Wood and Archer get their areas right, then they could create a lot of havoc for the Australian batsmen.
Very true. And you're are you the kind who predicts a series result? And if so, what is your prediction
Mm.
for this?
I haven't looked that far ahead, GQ, but no, I haven't. I think obviously each Australian wicket presents different conditions. Day-night tests likewise present different conditions. And clearly it comes down to the side that wins those key moments
Hmm.
more so will be the side that wins the series. But let's just wait to see how Test one sort of pans out. We expect it to hopefully it goes 5 days. We expect maybe 4 days we'll probably see that test out, particularly if it's a really good wicket. There's a little bit of weather coming in, not serious weather, so that may have a slight impact in terms of keeping the wicket fresher through to day three. So there's going to be, like any test match, there's going to be some variables, and that side that adapts to them the best will be the side that comes out successful. I'm not predicting a series outcome
Hmm.
because I haven't looked that far ahead in many respects. Everyone in Australia is saying don't bother about Sydney Test because the record gets washed out anyhow. But I'm sure Sydney will do us a favour and make it a very good test this year again.
Right. People normally associate Perth with Waka, the bounce, and also that Fremantle doctor, especially in the
Yep.
evening of the last session. How much of
Yep.
that Fremantle doctor helped in the past, and how much will it be
Yep.
missed in this Perth stadium?
Well, it's interesting because in Western Australia we used to pick our bowling attack around the doctor, which seems strange, but from the northern end, Terry Alderman, Ken McClay, going back further, Mick Malone, Bob Massey, Ian Brayshaw. So our bowling attack always had from the northern end to utilise the sea breeze, the Fremantle doctor. We always had a swing bowler. With the stadium, you don't necessarily get that Fremantle Doctor because it's a swirling breeze. So the Fremantle Doctor doesn't necessarily penetrate the stadium in the same way. So it does impact on selection, playing at the Wacker as opposed to playing at Perth Stadium. It's more of a hit the deck seam type of bowler that has become more effective. And there's not a lot of swing bowlers around in Australia as well, like we probably have in years gone by when you always had two or three out of WA, you had some out of Queensland. So the game has changed a lot in that respect. It's more a seam type bowler that hits the wicket and probably does a bit off the deck. Although having said that, one of Stark's great strength clearly is his ability to swing the ball back to the right hander. So he'll use that early, and he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. So, I expect him to be a key component. I expect England to probably look to sit off him a little bit and certainly not take too many risks, although Stark is an aggressive bowler, so he'll try and swing it and move it around and pitch it up and do all those things to try and encourage wicket taking. So it will be a different game to what it is at the WACA, but I don't think the bounce will be any different. The bounce and carry and pace will be very similar.
Mike, you played one test against England, though it was not in the Ashes, but it was, I think, the
Yes.
bicentenary test match,
Yep.
1987. How different was
Yes.
that one-off test match compared to
Yep.
a full Ashes series being involved in? And we have a similar one-off test match coming off sometime early next year, isn't it? So what was
Yep.
the experience playing against England, and how
It's,
different is that experience playing in a full Ashes?
bicentenary test. That's right, 88. And there's another one. The celebration of the Ashes series is next year, one-off test. So that will be very exciting. Clearly, the Australian Indian series is so well looked forward to, and the Indian population in Australia is significant. So. We continue to love to see India come over here, but the Ashes series is something that our game has been born on. It's where the game history sort of takes us back a long way. It's the rivalry of the fact that, I guess we were originally, I'm saying other than our Indigenous that have been here for 65,000 years, when the British sort of came to Australia. That's created a real great rivalry between the two nations that go back to not Alistair Cook, but Captain Cook's days. So it's been significant. And so I don't see this to be any different. The way England play their cricket now is very Australian-like, very aggressive. Stokes is an aggressive captain that wants to win. So that has created additional rivalry because both sides play a similar manner of cricket in terms of aggressive, try to win. So I think this series will be fantastic. I was fortunate to be part of the 89 Ashes series. We talked about opening partnerships. It was
Right.
Marsh and Taylor back then. Although I didn't play any tests in that series, it was just so good to be in England to be part of, I think, Australia's most successful Ashes series ever when we won back the Ashes in 1989. So the Ashes hold a special place in our hearts. So all Australians will look forward to this, and the amount of Indians or Englishmen or other cultures that will be coming out to watch, the cricket lovers. We anticipate some packed stadiums throughout all of our venues. So an exciting series ahead.
Sure. And you being re-elected to the board of WACA recently,
Yep.
you would have your
Yep.
hands full in the upcoming test, especially in Perth. So,
Yep.
so how are you going to do your
Yep.
duties as well as enjoy the action in the middle?
Yeah, thanks, Jicky. Look, obviously as a board member, it's important that we're in attendance, and it's important that we engage with the people, the stakeholders of West Australian cricket, and that's what we will be doing throughout the course of the Test match. But the other good thing is on the Sunday we have past Test players and life members day where we all get invited to the hospitality box, so we'll enjoy that. On Monday is the ACA, the Players Association Day, where all past players come together. So in many respects, if you're not involved in cricket day to day, this is a great chance for cricketers past and present to come together and mix and build that sort of great relationship that all have share a common goal of love for cricket. So in that respect, the test matches are not only great on the field, they're certainly great off the field. So we all look forward to that very much. The new WACA development is nearing completion. That's cost somewhere in the vicinity of almost 190 million. So it'll be a great facility. It'll be a great place to come and watch cricket from. Although, as I said earlier, we probably won't be playing some of those great test matches against England or India or maybe in South Africa, but we certainly hope to get test cricket back to the WACA at some point in time in the future.
That's very interesting, and hopefully we get to see in the open ground with the doctor also playing a part in it. Finally,
Yes,
before
yes.
winding up, Mike, any key contests you're looking forward to, man to man,
Oh,
in this Perth test as well as the series as a whole?
Look, obviously, Khawaja's announced that he's finishing in Test cricket soon, so it's going to be an important series for him to finish well. Labuschagne clearly has been scoring runs recently, so I imagine he would slot in at 3. He's clearly batting a lot better now than he has in the last couple of years, so that's something to look forward to. I think the sort of second stage of Marnus Labuschagne, Steve Smith as captain in the absence of. Pat Cummins will be significant. Obviously, Stokes will be a key player. Interesting the way that English, they talk about baseball, how they adapted to certain situations. I thought it probably let them down a couple of times in the last Ashes series in England where they just went hard all the time. They probably need to learn to adapt that a little bit, certain moments of a game. So there's a lot to play out. Obviously, Cummings back will make a world of difference. And the interesting thing will be towards the back end of the series, because obviously Australia have got in their back of their mind succession planning because there's a lot of players of similar age that will probably exit around a similar time. So Australian selectors need to be very mindful of that, particularly towards the back end of this series as to who they introduce into the Australian team.
Fantastic, Mike. Wonderful listening to your views, and may the best team win. Have a good time in Perth, of course, the Perth Stadium, and also have a great Ashes. Mike, thanks very much, and all the best to you.
Thanks, GQ. So good to speak to you, and I certainly look forward to seeing you in India next time.
Hopefully, yes. Surely. Looking forward
Thank
to that.
you.
Take care. Have a nice day, and have a good week ahead. Bye-bye.
Thanks, GQ.